In the book of Revelations, fallen angels imprisoned in a southern underground will come out when the river Euphrates dries up, say the texts. It also says that these beasts would slaughter 1/3 of mankind. It is true, as a matter of fact, that in these days of final revelations, the Euphrates River, former Mesopotamia, nowadays Iraq, is drying up. Could we see a fulfillment of the book of Revelations? In my personal opinion and knowledge, no Anunnaki being, who are a very advanced and civilized species, would be qualified as beasts. I believe we are talking here about something else, something not human, something not angelic and not even advanced extraterrestrial. Let me share with you the information I received in response to my questions from my friends in higher places. Thorhan, these creatures will not be allowed to roam on the surface. We are aware of this, and not telling the population, for it would create unnecessary stirring of fear. These are ancient reptiloids who are meant to awaken when the guardians are back. These are not Anunnaki, but the demons that Enlil's faction created by genetic engineering. They are already taken care of. No sound or visual recording of them would be genuine. But I can confirm that they are real creatures chained underneath this river. We do not have the knowledge and technology to destroy them, but Una's group has. I suggest you to request communication with her. I insist that there is no fear to spread. Everything is in control. Be also aware that the enemy is pulling out any excuse to counter Iya's beneficial help to your people. Straight after, I received a communication from High Commander Ardana from the Excelsior. I was requesting a contact with Una, and she interfered and decided to bring her own answer and commentaries. Ardana, you are requesting a communication with the Intergalactic Confederation, but I want to interfere and make a point on this. These are no demons chained under the Euphrates River, neither fallen angels. These names are folklore to the ignorant masses, but I will tell you that what is underneath this river, it is unfortunate creatures in pain, product of the engineering of severely deranged scientists who came from Ashkira. They were Anunnaki. These unfortunate beings in pain, we do not have the power to free their souls. But Una will give you the heads up on this matter. Only what you call high magic can free these souls into the ether, for the deranged scientist who created them as what you could name Armageddon weapons use dark magic to bind them here for eternity. There is a powerful one under the ice of Antarctica, also in the process of being neutralized. Iya is back to undo what his brother Yu has done. Anu was summoned to put an end to this, and he is doing it. You could put it like this for a better understanding. As the forces of light awaken, the armies of the dark arise. In the same day, I received an answer from a request to contact Ea, otherwise known as Enki. But he doesn't like to be called Enki because he's not custodian of Earth anymore. He has only been for a time. His real birth name is Ea. Here is what Ea answered to me to this question. Oh, these are not demons. I am stating this, which you can share with Earth humans. When we left, when my faction left, we put in place on this planet an extremely clever web of emissaries in stasis, with hybrid bodies as their avatars, so they can breathe and roam on this Earth. Have you noticed? With those you name the giants, we, Anunnaki, do not look like them, because they are hybrid avatars, or in our terms of technology, environmental biological suits. These are the awakening giants you are talking about. Nothing can stop our plan, and great changes are on the way for humans of Earth. Positive changes. When you do not have the military power, you develop your intelligence. Now, I will speak about these beings from under the two rivers. These are older than the flood stories, when I withdrew from Earth with my people. These beings were the product of genetic manipulation, and they would be so powerful that no army on Earth could overcome them. I wasn't involved in this. These beings were brought down to Earth by one of our ships, engineered somewhere else, but not on the surface on this planet. There is no danger to be worried about. I am here for you, and I am here for all of you. These beasts will be liberated, but not in the ways of the scriptures. These beasts will be liberated in the ways of mine. Their Is-Be will be released from the suffering. I know the ways to do this. This is unnameable, what my half-brother has done. He wasn't a scientist. He had no consideration for life, for any life form in general. Suffering was not a term he was empathetic for. But he had foreseen that in a far future he would lose grip upon this world. So he brought the Molochi. What is a Molochi? I asked. Is that the name of these creatures? Ea replied. A Moloch is a hybrid avatar that can take different shapes and bind a powerful dark soul within. Higher hierarchy dark Is-Be, as well as very high-frequency Is-Be, cannot be bound into flesh. So when this happens, it is forced by using what you call magic. And the resulting creature will be torn in pain for the complete length of its incarnation. You can obtain very cruel and insatiable beasts via these methods. The Molochi under the two rivers are not going to harm anyone. They are taken care of. In truth, they haven't awakened recently. These ones were alive for a long time. How cruel. I was touched by Ea's compassion showing once again his higher nature, his higher consciousness, self-aware of being an immortal soul from the perspective of the universe, of Source. Enki creates life, Enki channels life into bodies. He's a geneticist. And you cannot perform this work if you do not have love for life. Because love enters in the picture when a soul comes down. If a soul is forced into a body without love, pain enters, and this is not following the laws of Source of the universe. Ea is aware of this and wary of this, and he feels compassion even for these beings. Very admirative of this. And so we should have compassion for each other. I will come to this point later. Una contacted me, answering my question straight after Ea closed the communication. And here is what Una, emissary from the Altian group of the Cedars Intergalactic Confederation, here is what she said. Salutations to you, says Una. I listened to your conversation with Prince Ea, for I requested contact with him at the same time after responding to your call. These creatures are not going to harm anyone, as Ea confirmed it to you. Only an Anunnaki, such as Ea, can undo the spells that other Anunnaki have cast. As you know, this is the law. This is why he is back, to undo negative karmas. We are working together with him and his crew. As Ea explained to you, continued Una, only dark magic can bind a high-grade soul into flesh, and when something is forced against the natural laws of life, suffering results from it. We also know the ways of universal high magic, and we are assisting Ea. Him undoing the wrongs performed by his people a long time ago, and us uncasting the dark spells that were binding this planet to the benefit of the hidden ones. There is a lot of work to be done. Speak about the rising of the truth, and how the beasts within some people are awakening to disrepute it. So this is what Una said, Ea, Thorhan, and Ardana said on this question. And this was a good thing, because it allows me to share with you these thoughts and this knowledge. I am indeed amazed how Ea has compassion for anything that bears life. Even Isbi is forced into inadequate bodies, even for these creatures. This teaches us about the interconnected level of compassion that animates all being who reached a higher level of consciousness and speak from a higher perspective and understanding of the universe. As High Commander Ardana said, as the forces of light awaken, the armies of the dark arise. Here are the times of the final combat of positive forces versus negative forces. This fight is ongoing on all levels and goes way deep beyond what you can imagine. Here are the different levels in which this fight, this final combat, is occurring. On the physical level, wars in space, and in undergrounds in the earth, which are now over, but still there are ongoing attempts from the dark ones to block our genetic potential by the inoculation of chemicals and creepy grits in any ways possible into our body. AIM is assimilation. On a mind level, by manipulation into discord and division, with aim to dismantle the goodwill of humanity, dividing the army of light by instilling poison of discord in the minds of the soldiers, that they all turn against each other and forget about fighting the real enemy. AIM is division for control. You know, the flag words of the Roman Empire have always been divide and conquer. Well, the Roman Empire never truly collapsed. It just shifted and became the Holy Roman Empire, who has always been behind the institution, and this institution who is behind goes back to Enlil and his minions. This last battle also goes on the level of consciousness, discrediting the real information by vomiting an overwhelming wave of counter-information, by both the activation of programmed MK Ultra victims and also shields from alphabet agencies. The aim is dejection, discouragement and disinterest from the fight. This war is also ongoing on an etheric level. A war between entities to win souls, your souls, to feed upon your life force and bind your minds. How many of us have been hacked, hooked, possessed by these own entities working for the dark controls of this world? They have transformed some people into puppets as a tool to create hate and division. More hate and division. And doubt. Doubting hope. Things that are impossible if you keep in a higher frequency. A higher frequency that blinds them and that keeps them away, these entities. Drugs, alcohol, and sexual addictions are wide open doors to these hackers. It means to them welcome. Their aim is possession. And on a soul level, it's by convincing you to kneel in front of a human playing gods, or ETs playing gods, in order to take your power away, and that you wait for delusional salvation, which will never arrive while you do not do the job and while you consent to be a slave and bent on a knee. Their aim is harvest. Stand up. No God, no masters. You are a free, sovereign being. Apocalypse. This word has come to be used popularly as a synonym for catastrophe, but the ancient Greek word apocalypsis, from which it is derived, means revelation or disclosure. Apocalypsis means in Greek, in ancient Greek, disclosure. And many ancient cultures around the world, there's an innumerable amount of them, marked the expectation of a significant event in which the forces of good, or God, destroy the ruling powers of evil, finally, and raise the righteous to life in a messianic kingdom, as certain scriptures says. It concerns expectations of the end of the present age, when the power of good will punish the wicked and reward the faithful. I believe the mention of rising the righteous in a higher kingdom is a metaphor to express the shift in frequencies of human consciousness that can only be attained by shifting our consciousness into a place of love, compassion, truthfulness, and inner peace. In all ancient traditions and predictions, all of them, be it North America, South America, Africa, Middle East, Asia, Europe, Scandinavia, the whole earth has the same prediction and ending. They all say that at the end, God wins. How can you counter the doings of the army of darkness? I'm going to give you some tips. On a physical level, fight assimilation by individual freedom and sovereignty. On a mind level, fight division by unity and love. On a consciousness level, fight discouragement by listening to your heart. On an etheric level, fight possession by keeping your frequency high. Fight addictions by, for instance, meditation. On a soul level, fight the harvesting of your soul by standing up on your feet and refuse to kneel in front of any authority, for you know better for yourself. And you need to find the connection to Source through your own being. For we are all a fractal of Source. We are made at the image of Source as a fractal because we are fractal of it. Our soul, our Isbi, is a fractal of Source. That is how we are made at the image of God, not the bodies, the soul, Isbi. We are made as a fractal of Source, or of God if you want to call her like that. And that is what the enemy fears, that you one day understand that you understand how powerful you are, that you have the direct connection, and the direct connection is DNA. It's an aerial. All wounds are coming up to the surface now in these times of revelation. All angers, jealousies, ego wrongly magnified, fears, insecurities. For you cannot ascend in consciousness if all of these wounds haven't been healed. That is why they come up for you, for certain of you, that you see them and you face them and you heal the younger person of you with love. These are the time of apocalypse, of the revelation, of the disclosure, when our own demons awaken and reveal themselves before our true light, to dissolve them into self-love. For the apocalypse, the greatest revelation of all, is happening right now within you. You've got this. Love.